Welcome to the Modern Eco Village. We are building a community in the south of Spain for 500 households, a complete community focused on health, sustainability, and community interaction. Our goal is to create a green oasis where we can upgrade different aspects of our lives, get closer to nature while keeping the modern comfort and technology. So listen up.
I'm going to do the introduction of you. I have to read on my phone because this is short, but it's still amazing. Okay, so welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Saara Alto, or Saara Sofia Alto. So, for the people who are listening or watching, Saara here, she's a Finnish singer, songwriter, and voice actress. In 2012, she came in second in the first season of The Voice in Finland. And in 2016, Saara finished as the runner-up in the 13th series of the X Factor UK, which gained her international recognition. I'm gonna leave it there. And then, I mean, it's such a great, like, almost cliffhanger to this because, my gosh, it's such an honor to have you here, and it's been such an honor to get to know you and your wife, and I'm very excited for you to share your story. So tell us a little bit, who are you? Why the heck are you here? What's your plans for the future? So take us back. How did you end up here?
Yeah. So me and my wife, we are members of the MEV. So we are so excited to be part of this amazing project. And why and how? Well, my story starts in 2003 when I was 16 years old. And this is now very important. I was 16. I was a young musician studying in a music high school. I was so busy, doing what I loved, Yes, I had to go to my high school, but then I was practicing my piano, my singing, music, performing, choirs. I had so much to do. And my life was very hectic, but I was passionate. And I needed some energy to do all that. And I was so addicted to sugar and fast food. I spend 5 to 10 euros every day to buy sweets. And that is a lot of money to buy candies.
Yeah,
yes.
Especially at that time.
Yeah. And what happened was that I got very sick. My body got very inflamed. I had infections, inflammation all over my body. And the doctors, they didn't know why. I didn't know why. I know now, and I'm going to tell you. Maybe you already guessed why. But the doctors were not able to help me. And for 8 years, I ate antibiotics. For 8 years. And I would see a new doctor every year asking what's wrong with me. And they were like, we don't know, this is very mysterious. Just take these drugs, take these antibiotics. And it was awful. And at the same time, I was starting my career as a singer, as a musician, but I was aching, I was hurting, I was so sick. And then something happened. 2010, I got to work in my favorite musical, Wicked. Yeah, you love it as well. Yes. And I was 23 years old, so very young, very excited. Oh my God, my favorite musical. And for the first time in my life, I had a secured job for a year. Because, I was a music student, I was a freelancer in a music industry, doing gigs here and there, but it was always very insecure. You never knew what would happen next month. And now I had this real job in a big theater for a year. So I didn't have to stress about anything. And I had a summer holiday, knowing that the next autumn I would be working in my favorite musical. I can just relax whole summer for the first time, in my, life, just relaxing. And I had some books on my table. And those books were spiritual books that I got from my friend. And at this time, I was not spiritual at all. I knew nothing about that subject. But I had a friend who was like, you need to read these books. And the books were Conversations with God, I don't know if you've read them, but those were the books. And I was like, okay, I have some free time now, relaxing, summer, let's read those books. And my life changed. And I spent, I would say, 2 weeks, because there's many books by the same author. And I was reading all of them. And I was so excited about the books that I forgot to go to buy candies. I honestly forgot. I was just reading like crazy, and my life changed, and I kind of, it felt like it was a spiritual awakening. So my eyes opened, and I felt like I had been, blindfolded, and then suddenly I saw everything, and I kind of felt so connected to the universe, to the earth, to the nature. Like, it was an experience that a miracle. And then suddenly I felt like, my body is not aching. What's happening with my body? Like, I don't feel sick anymore. And I realized that, oh my God, I haven't been buying any candies in 2 weeks. Could it be that? And it was this moment when it was like a puzzle in my mind. Everything, connected. And I was like, oh, so it actually matters what I eat. If I eat sugar that much, I become sick. And it was like the fastest identity change ever. It was like a snap like this. Okay, I'm gonna change my diet. I'm not going back to sugar anymore. And I basically started eating organic food, salads, raw food. Like, I became like this nerd of like healthy eating.
And this is so radical in the countries that both you and I come from, because at that time when we were young, like you said, nobody ever questioned that the food that you eat will impact your body. We didn't know. We had no idea.
No idea. Because I was a very, nice girl, listening to the doctors and teachers, like authorities. And then I was like, oh, maybe I have to think with my own brain, Yeah. And in 2 weeks, I got rid of all the medication that I had been eating and taking for 8 years. And for me, it was a miracle healing. And honestly, for the next 2 years, I was high, I was like, oh my God, my life has changed. And I would be speaking about this to everybody, and I was helping people to change their diets, and the best years of my life. And also my first album came during that time, and the album is called Blessed with Love, because I felt like I was so blessed with love. And the songs, they came naturally. I don't even remember writing them, because, they just came. It was like channeled, And it was a magical period of my life. And I remember thinking then that I need to find people, I need to find a community that wants to live like this. I wish there was a village for people like me and the others who want to just grow their own food, live healthy, happy life, connected to nature, to universe, whatever. And since then, I've been dreaming about a place that you are building right now, which is crazy. And I was, only 23, and, Well, but what happened then? 2012, I participated in The Voice of Finland. It was the first season, so it was huge, Everybody was following the show, and I came second on that show. And that also changed my life a lot in Finland, because I became a very public figure, and I started touring around Finland. And since the year after The Voice, I did 300 gigs during that year, the next year.
301 years.
Yeah, which is a lot. There was no break, so I was just like driving, doing gigs, and I got exhausted. And I also realized how difficult it was to maintain the raw diet that I had. Because at that time, I didn't eat any sugar, no dairy, no wheat, so no gluten. That was like, those were my 3 things that I didn't want to eat. And I was eating a lot of like green juices, smoothies, raw foods. And some people were a bit worried about me. They were like, oh, your diet is so strict. Oh, how do you, is that healthy? And I was like, My diet before was burgers, candies, and now I'm like eating all the vegetables, all the fruits, seeds, nuts. Like it was so healthy. I know, it was strict because I wanted, because my body was healing. It was like a big detox for my body. My eyesight got better, which is crazy as well. Like, and my brain worked like magic. It was so sharp and so like fast. So I really got all the benefits of eating with that diet. But when I was touring, it was not possible anymore. Because you know in Norway as well, if you go to a small village somewhere, it's like
no, you won't find
gas station, and you have to just eat something. So it was hard, and at that time I also met my wife, my beautiful wife Mary, and when we met, if I talk about health stuff now, it was crazy. Well, I'll let you know how we met actually, because this is a funny story as well. So it was after The Voice of Finland. She sent me a fan message, and she is not a fangirl at all. She's never done it to anybody else. And she was like, I have this feeling that I need to write to Saara. So she sent me a message saying, congratulations, and I just feel like we have a similar vibe. So she was able to sense my spirituality through my performance, and she was like, I feel like there's something, similar in between us. And I was very excited when I got the message. I was like, I don't usually reply to fan messages because I've had some bad experiences. And but I did reply to her. I was like, oh, thank you, but I was a bit shy. I didn't know, I just said thank you, and that was that. And then a year later she came to my show to see me sing.
Was this, so the fan mail, was it handwritten? Was it
on
Instagram?
Facebook? It was on Facebook.
So did you guys have contact after that?
No.
So it was just
for 1 year,
time.
no. It was like a one-time thing. But then 1 year later, she came to my show. And she took a photo of me, and she posted that on Instagram. And that was 2013, when Instagram was just about to start, It was a new thing. So she posted it on Instagram and tagged me. And I was on Instagram like, what is this thing? You can tag somebody? Somebody tagged me. What happens? It was so new. And I was like, oh, I can see this is the same girl who sent me the message 1 year ago. And I just felt like I need to contact her.
Yeah.
So I went back to Facebook to find our old messages. And I was like, hello, Mary. I saw you posted a photo of me on Instagram. Like, you were at my gig. I wish you would have come and said hello to me, and blah, 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 blah. And then we started talking, and we never stopped. And honestly, the first conversation we had on Facebook since then, we were both crying because we shared the values, the spirituality, mindset, it was just like soulmates, we just found each other. And but it still took 1 year for us to start dating, because we both had our previous relationships ending at the moment. So we didn't start our relationship yet. But for 1 year we were friends. Not really always kissing, but still friends, and
very good friends.
Very good friends.
I'm gonna cry because I get so touched.
Yeah.
I love love.
And then 2014 we started dating and moved together immediately, and it's been like that since then. It's been amazing. And when she's there, hello.
Yeah.
And what was really interesting is that when we started dating, and Mary kind of saw how I ate, because at this moment I was still, trying to eat as healthy as possible, even though it was not always possible on tour, but at home. And she would adapt my way of eating, and she would get rid of all of her illnesses, because she would have angina. How do you call it? Like when you have a throat angina? No.
Vagina?
No.
I have no idea.
I think it is angina.
Angina? Is that a word?
I don't know.
Look at
Illness in your throat when it hurts so much, and it's like a little white thing there covering your throat. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
Goodness. Well, it's a very nasty illness.
Yeah.
It's like a very bad cold where you have your throat so aching that you cannot swallow. It's awful. Anyway, so Mary would have those every year, but she hasn't had one since she met me.
Wow.
So, she also got very much healthier. So that's why we are really talking about healthy food. It's so important for us. And because we share the same values. Well, actually, I'll go to that a bit later, because first I want to say that she became my manager as well. So she is a natural-born manager, honestly. A young girl, she was like 24 when we met, and she was looking at my career and my team, and she was like, Saara, I could do it better. Can I try? And I was like, what? You are like, you don't have any experience on music industry, like what? And she was like, let me try. And I was like, fine. And she tripled my fees, and she got me to X Factor UK. Yeah. That was her idea. So 2016, my dream always was to become an international singer. And that's why I always sang in English. That's why I was never signed to a record label in Finland. They always told me to sing in Finnish. And I was like, I have a dream to become an international singer. So I established my own record label, and I did all my albums on my own label, as an entrepreneur. And I thought my way of becoming an international singer would be through Eurovision, Eurovision Song Contest. I was like, that's the only way I can get out of Finland. And I actually tried to get to Eurovision 5 times before X Factor. And the 5th time was 2016, and I came second on the Finnish pre-selection. And actually, I had become second a couple of years earlier as well. So this is another story, but I always came second on the Finnish pre-selection of Eurovision. And I was like, damn, Eurovision is not the way for me. And I was still trusting that something will come. And then Mary was like, have you ever considered X Factor UK? And I was like, what? Could I apply as a Finnish singer? And she was like, yeah. And we went online, and we found out there were auditions going on at that moment. And we bought tickets to Manchester, immediately. And in 5 days, we were there. In Manchester, auditioning for the production team. So this is not for TV cameras yet. Not for Simon Cowell, it's for the TV production team of X Factor. And they happened to really love me. They were really excited about my story. Oh God, yeah, because I haven't even told you, but I've been to China. I've even done an album in Mandarin Chinese. So I have a lot of things, in my career, and they were really excited about that. Wow, you've done so much in different countries, and wow, and they really liked me, so they wanted me to participate. The X Factor UK, and that changed also everything in our lives, because
did you kind of know after that production interview, did you kind of know that you would pass the first official edition or the first TV edition in front of the Simon Cowell and everybody? They really showed me that they liked me. They were really excited, so I kind of left there hoping that I probably will get through to the TV round. Yeah. And I did, and I sang in front of Simon Cowell, Nicole Scherzinger, Sharon Osbourne, Louis Walsh, 4 judges, and what was the song again?
Chandelier.
Yes, this is true. Because they changed that. They gave you this one, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell that story?
Yes, I want, it's beautiful.
So for me, of course, an audition on X Factor is a huge thing, and I had practiced some other songs and prepared myself for the biggest audition of my life. And then one day before my flight to the UK, the production team called me saying, Saara, we want you to sing Chandelier in 2 days when you have your audition. And I was like, what song? Chandelier? It was a big hit then, but I don't listen to radio, so I didn't know it. I was like, I've heard it maybe once, and my flight is tomorrow, but okay, I rehearse it. And I did, and it was the best thing ever, honestly. I'm so grateful for the production team to really, they kind of had that vision that, that song would fit Saara so well. And I'm so grateful for that, because that song changed my life. The audition went so well. I was so emotional. The judges were so emotional. And what happened was that in the end, I became second in the whole competition. And that was a miracle, because that was the year of the Brexit vote. So the UK, they voted for Brexit. And I'm not British.
Yeah.
And people started to vote for me. That was a miracle, really. It wasn't supposed to happen. But
once you see the show, because I saw it after I met you, like we spent a weekend together or so last year, and we knew that you had, this will come back to later, but we knew that you had sung with Andrea Bocelli, so we've seen that, but we hadn't done proper research on you, because we went to know, the people first and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, because at this time also I was in a huge burnout and I could not socialize.
Yeah.
So I did not want to meet you guys. I told Janko, like, I don't have it in me. I am too tired.
Yeah.
I cannot function. I cannot put on a show and be the person you need me to be, right? Like the founder of the MEV, like let's show you guys what we can do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then after I left you guys for the first we went and had pizza.
Yeah. So you did meet us.
I did meet you guys, because Janko was like, he said, trust me on this. I only ask you to meet, like, I don't ask you to meet everybody that comes along and is interested in this project. I only ask you sometimes when I have a gut feeling about people. So trust me with these people, grab a pizza with us. And we did. And when you guys left, I looked over to my husband and I'm like, I have new best friends. I love them so much. And you guys gave me so much energy. I felt like I could fly after. And that's rare in people. It's becoming common in this project.
Yeah.
But in the world, it's kind of
Yeah.
rare. What was my point in this? What were we talking about?
That you
Chandelier,
didn't do any research on me, but you did the research later.
Yes. And then after you left, I was like, I'm going to check this girl out on YouTube and see. And I've seen every single performance you've done on the X Factor and also a lot of other stuff. But I noticed like your ability to take a song and make it yours, and your ability to be a chameleon. Like you are so, like you just said, you're like, oh, I did something in, Mandarin, and I did this and I did that, because as I get to know you, this is your personality.
Yeah.
You are able to shape yourself, being your authentic self. You are able to shape yourself into so many different things. So if you guys are listening and you find this interesting, like go on YouTube, watch all of her performances. I mean, you're singing like one of the best singers in the world, and upside down and being carried by people and on ice skates and being thrown away. And like, what is happening? And then on a couple days before we recorded this on Sunday, we can talk about it now. So you and Mary texted me. She's like, we want to gift you guys because we're working hard on the MEV and blah, blah. And she said, we want to gift you guys with an evening of song and food. So the only thing we need is a house. She said, can we borrow yours? So you guys came to our house, Mary brought the food and you brought the food and you guys put everything together. I was a guest in my own house in the most beautiful way. And then you had a mini concert for us. And it was one of the most magical experiences of my life. I can't believe I get to be, like, imagine everybody who's seen you on TV and who's voted for you and rooted for you. And I'm one of the few people in the world that can have a mini concert with you in my own garden. Like, it's so huge. And then you also told the story about Chandelier. And when you told the story and how you kind of made the song personal and your interpretation of it, so we could listen for different things in the song, it changed how we all heard that song. And it became such a heartbreaking ballad. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of kudos for what you do, because you're not just a singer, you're a storyteller. And it affects us so much, the people who get to listen to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you liked it.
We loved it, all of us. I mean, we were crying the morning after and talking about it. And it was such an experience. So I just wanted to share that with the listeners.
But what happened after X Factor is also very important, and why we are here now. So basically what happened was that my publicity exploded, in Finland, in the UK as well, but like in Finland, people got crazy because I was like the first person ever to do anything like that, So for the next 4 years, I couldn't go anywhere in Finland, anywhere. It was really hard. It's not life You know,
Yeah.
it's not life. It's very hard because you cannot make any connections. You cannot connect with people. Of course, on stage, but it's different. It's not like, you know, it's lovely to be on stage and people like you and wow, yeah, but like,
But that's performing, that's your job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt so isolated. And after X Factor, I did Eurovision finally. Just want to tell you because,
Yeah.
you know, I tried
got
to
it.
apply for it
Yeah.
for so many times. And then after X Factor, Finland asked me to represent Finland. I didn't have to compete anymore, you know. They were just like, do you want to represent Finland? And I was like, yes, finally, you know.
Or were you not tempted to be like, bitch, please? You know, like
A little bit, yeah. Like, oh, now you want
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Well, but I still wanted to do it, and I did it, and I did another big TV show in the UK, Dancing on Ice, all about skating. It's like
Incredible.
Dancing with the Stars, but like on the ice. Awful. I'm not an athlete, so it was hard, but I made it to the finals. So for me, it was
But-
a long journey.
But even there, because what did you do on there? You told me about it last time, and I went in and I saw it. And was it called a head thruster or
Head banger.
Head banger.
Yeah.
And everyone, because it was funny, because a little bit when we were doing this podcast now, the podcast producer, she had you like tell you, where she reminded you just now, like not to move so much or whatever for the camera, and you're like, oh, it's fine. And then I was thinking, yeah, because you have been told to like, you know, be lifted on, sing on ice live in front of, you know, thousands of hundreds and thousands of viewers, while a person
Millions
lifting
of-
you up, millions
of viewers.
while a person lifting you up by your feet, going in circles, banging up and down, hoping not to hit the ice. You know,
Yeah. I've done some crazy things.
Unbelievable.
And that Dancing on Ice was on 2019. And what happened 2020? COVID happened. And for me, that saved my life.
Yeah.
Because when COVID started, we happened to be in Finland, even though we officially lived in London at that time, but we happened to be in Finland when the lockdown started and we couldn't leave Finland. And that was the best thing ever. I was like, oh my God, nobody wants anything from me. I don't have to do anything. Everything is cancelled. The whole music industry is basically cancelled. And like, you know, because I was supposed to work in a musical and blah, 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 blah. And everything was cancelled. And I was like, thank you. I really needed that. Obviously, it was horrible for the world, but for me personally, it really saved my life because I was I was so burned out, like in a big way. And since then, it's been interesting for me to kind of realize that I don't want to go back to what my life was before COVID. I mean, it was, you know, I was living my dream. You know, I fulfilled all my childhood dreams. I was that international singer. We were living in London. I was singing all over the world, traveling all the time. It was amazing in a way, but at the same time, I did the the biggest TV shows on the planet, like 3 of them in a row. And it's too much. It takes so much, you know, like, and I had no time to recover. We had no breaks. It was constant, like, touring, TV, album, like, whoa, a lot. And I got to experience that all, which is great. I was, you know, check, all my dreams, And 2020, I was like, never again, I can't.
I don't think people understand. If you've never been in a burnout, you don't understand how much a burnout steals from you, because it starts stealing joy. Yeah. So a lot of people think about burnout as a physical, you're tired. Yeah. But the physical tiredness lasts for a very long time until the burnout comes. So one of the stages of the burnout is that you're not enjoying anything. Yeah. But you have to do it. Yeah. So you learn to disconnect from your body and from your mind and just perform. Yeah. And doing that, and especially when the world is looking at you and like, oh my gosh, look at you, you did it, you're shining, you're so beautiful, wow. It's such a painful feeling to go to bed because you feel so alone and you don't feel like you cannot reach your own personality. You cannot reach anything because nothing matters anymore. Yeah. And that was also my burnout. I got everything I ever wanted. and I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
So I really like this. Jim Carrey said it in an interview once. He said, I wish that everybody who wanted fame and money will get fame and money to understand that fame and money is not the answer.
Yeah, I'm getting shivers because
yeah.
it's so true. And I told you about my spiritual awakening 2010. This was 2020, so 10 years after. And I was like, where is that Saara, you know, that is really connected to the earth, to the universe, to nature? Where is that, you know? I had lost it. Like, obviously it was in my heart, but my environment and my job and everything around me was like taking me to another direction. And the values of the music industry, they don't align with my values, not at all. And it had been a struggle, you know, for the past 10 years to fulfill my dreams and try to keep my values. And I was doing a good job with that. Like, I never gave up my values. But when the whole industry and the whole environment around you has different values, you feel so strange, you know? It's not a good environment, you know?
No, it's like a monkey in a zoo.
Yeah. So I felt like I don't want to go back there. And I did, you know, people were trying to reach me for some concerts and some gigs, you know, when the lockdowns kind of, ended. And every time when my wife was like, hey, do you want to perform there? Do you want to sing there? I was like, no. I started crying. I was like, no, don't make me do it. Don't. I don't want to do it. And I realized I need to take time off. I studied to become a life coach. I studied a lot of NLP, which is my favorite tool for the mind and body to rewire your subconscious mind. And I studied to be a human design expert as well, which I love so much. And I also started my own singing school because I love teaching. That is like my life's mission. It's always been, I've always loved to share my knowledge and help people. So I finally had time to build my own singing school online, and my life is so different now. And also now, let's get to the point. Okay. 2021, my wife was like, you know, we were both trying to enjoy our lives again, you know, because we were both burned out. And my wife was like, I feel like I would want to try play tennis. And she went to have a tennis course in Finland. And then she came to me saying, I really love tennis, but it doesn't feel good to play tennis indoors. I would want to play it in Spain. Can we go to Spain? And I was like, why not? Let's go to Spain. And 2021, we were in Spain for 3 months, just trying how it feels, and we loved it. And since then, every year we came back for the winter time to live in Spain. And gradually we started to feel like we would want to buy a home from Spain. We want it to be our home, you know, so that it doesn't change every time we come to Spain. And we were looking for houses, apartments, and every time we would say, oh, we wish there was an eco-village, like a village with like-minded people who want to live a healthy life, eat healthy, who have the same values. And but we were like, well, maybe it's just a dream. And then the last time we said this was 2024, February, when we were in Spain. And then 2 months later, our friend sends us a TikTok reel. Your reel with when you kind of, I think it was the first reel that you did about you wanting
an eco-village.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she sent us that, and she said, "Let's move in?" ? And from her side, it was a joke. You know, she wasn't serious, but we were like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what we've been trying to find. And now you're doing it. And we contacted you immediately. And then 2 months after, we had our first contract. And it was, a year ago. And now we are here. And every time we come back here, when we meet you guys, we have visited the plot now 3 times. And every time it just gets more important for us. Like, it just gets bigger and bigger in our heart. It's like we are not you know, because it felt a bit like a too good to be true, you know.
Yeah. For
And
us too.
Yeah, and it still kind of feels that way, but at the same time, it feels so natural because I'm like, I have been manifesting this since 2010, you know? So for me, it feels so natural that, yeah, of course, this is happening.
Of course
like,
it's
of
happening.
course. And now I'm in this very interesting moment in my life where I'm like, still, I am performing, I am still singing, I'm doing concerts because I'm not burned out anymore. I found the joy back, but I don't want to go back to my old life. Now I want to create a new way to be a singer. That I can actually sing whenever I want to, but I can also have long breaks and be in Spain and live a slow life here, enjoy the sun, and, you know, grow my own food. So I'm trying. I don't know how it's going to work out yet. You know, it's still, you know, work in progress. But I feel like I need to find a way to make this work. And I also feel like it can be really inspiring for other singers and for other artists, because I know most of them suffer from the industry and from the environment they have to be in all the time, hustling, posting, you know, always performing. And I'm like, is it really like... Do we really have to do that? Is there a healthier way to do it? At least I want to do that. And that's why I'm here with you.
Take control.
Yeah.
Create your own narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's always been my path. I've always done things differently. I don't want to follow the norms and the society things or the industry, you know. I've always built my own journey, my own way, you know, in the music industry, and now like to be in this. So I
So how do you picture, so you get your house on your plot.
Yeah.
How do you picture your day? Take me through a day in a couple of years or 3 years when everything is set up. What's a day in your life in Spain for you and for Mary?
Well, for me, the view is so important. And the view in the village is going to be amazing. I love the view so much.
The fact that you can see the sky at all times, sunrise and sunset, it's so important to me also, the view. Yeah.
And for me, the mountains.
Yeah.
Like the valleys, the green nature around you. So I imagine myself having breakfast on the terrace, looking at the mountains, and just like, we're just here, like, you know, enjoying, no rush, you know. And I hope like we're gonna have some yoga, you know, sessions in the village, like for sure.
For sure.
So I can imagine myself like after breakfast going to have a yoga session and, you know, hang out with you guys, have a talk, have lunch together. Then probably, who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna do with my work. Maybe I have my singing school. Maybe I go and record some videos for my students. Maybe I coach some singers online.
Maybe some of your students are coming down because we're going to have the studio, we're going to have hotels, we're going to have, you know, like...
That would be, like, I've been imagining that I would have, like, singing retreats there. So that would be amazing. And then, and then in the afternoon, in the evening, having walks, you know, in the nature... And
swimming
we probably
in the lake.
Yeah, well, swimming, I don't know.
You don't swim?
I do. I can swim very well, but I just don't like cold water. So I don't know how warm will the water be.
But some of the lakes are like some what do you call it, Cassie? When like the inner parts of the lake that is not so, that's more shallow.
Yeah.
Shallow water? Yeah. So shallow water next to the small waterfalls and stuff. So in there, it becomes very warm.
Nice. I can do
super
that.
Warm. Yeah. I also only swim in warm water.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we do that together.
Yeah. I feel like now I went into the pool the other day. It was 25 degrees. And I looked at Janko and I was like, look at me. I'm ice bathing. You know, like I feel, because I also don't. But in the hot summer days, I think that we're going to do evenings by the lake.
Yeah, let's do that.
So,
Yeah, and just enjoying all the activities that we are going to have in the village, and, you know, and enjoying the sunset. I love a good sunset. It's so beautiful. The colors, the sky. So I see my life very like slow and like, and I also, I hope I will be very inspired to write music. So, you know, with my piano, you know, seeing the mountains and writing songs. And I see myself being very creative when I live there. So
I really hope that with this project, because you know that sentence, too good to be true.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of us here are thinking about this project, including us, you know, the founders, and you know, you guys were such early members, and this is something that we talk about all the time. Like it feels, but I really hope that we can show people that you're allowed to lean into good things, and that good things exist, and you're allowed to slow down, and you're allowed to take control. And if you become like very clear on what you want, that life for you is actually available to you. Because this is what most people, including myself, I grew up super poor in Norway. My husband grew up super poor in what was then communist Romania. Like we had no chances of, you know, moving to Spain and live, you know, slow and beautiful. You know, we were born into the hustle environment. Like you have to work, you have to hustle, and if you're relaxing, then you're lazy. If you're not working hard, then you're not supposed to enjoy. You're supposed to work and suffer. You know, so, and you can enjoy, but maybe 2 weeks out of the year, not more. You know, and not every weekend. And so I really want to show people that if you take a step back, there's a lot of things that are available to you, of all the good things, but you have to lean towards it, not away from it.
And it really needs like bravery to take those steps. And many people, you know, me and my wife, we always go for our dreams, and we really like prioritize our dreams. And people easily say to us online like, oh, well, it's easy for you. It's easy for you. And it's like, no, it's actually like we are working very hard, you know, mentally to kind of be brave enough to really, you know, it was a big thing to say yes to you after your first reel, you know, when it's all just a dream.
It was just a dream.
And we were like, we believe in that dream. Let's go for it. And then when you follow that urge and when you follow that intuition, it's kind of like surfing on the wave, you know, it becomes easier when you take that first step and you just, you know, go for it. But it really needs a lot of like mental work in a way.
Wait, I talked about this on it doesn't matter where I talked about it, but getting to know your relationship to different words. So what is your relationship to the word fear? What does that mean to you, right? What is your relationship to the word resistance? What does that mean to you? And what is your relationship to the word difficult? Because this is also where we had to go in and do so much work, because we realized early on that we thought that if something is difficult, it means you have to stop. We thought that if there was a lot of resistance, it means you have to stop. And we thought that if we had fear, we had to stop. But so when we really, really worked on those three, that fear only means fear. You know, it just means that, oh, this is uncomfortable. This is new. The brain doesn't know the difference between good and bad. It knows known and unknown.
Exactly.
So when you step into something unknown, you're going to feel fear. That's it. And if something is difficult, it only means that it's difficult. It doesn't mean that it cannot be done.
Exactly.
So it is so interesting how there's so much work behind this. And it's years and years and years. And we also get the messages always like, oh, it's easy for you. You're so privileged. You're already in Spain. It's like, but how did I end up in Spain?
Exactly.
You know, my husband and I quit our jobs and everything, started working for this 10 years ago. You know?
And for us, actually the same, because I made the decision to give up my whole singing career so that we were able to come here. In my whole life, I couldn't have done it. So it wasn't that easy, you know? Because I've worked so hard with my identity. I still have an identity crisis because I don't know if I'm a singer or who am I now, you know? I work all the time to kind of go through that fear that I have, that, oh my God, what if I'm not that singer anymore? So it's not been easy, but at the same time, when you take that step and, you know, we came to Spain and I was like, I'm giving my singing career up now for a while, and you came then. You know, things start to happen when you just do that and go through that fear.
Remember, we talked a little bit about this the first time we met also, because because you became famous, I became like influencer famous in Norway. And the second you get a little bit of recognition by media and people, people start adding that as your value, right? Like,
Oh, yes.
oh, wow, I saw you
yes.
on X Factor. Even my introduction is like, wow, these are the things that you've done.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, ABC, you know?
Yeah.
And then once you decide yourself to take away that value,
Yeah.
you are left very naked and with the question, do I have any worth
Yep.
if I don't do the thing that everybody thinks I'm worthy for?
Yeah.
So it is a very difficult. Thing, to take that decision. It's
is.
painful,
It
but then
is
you
so
get to know your true self, and then you also get to know that people will actually
Yeah.
love that version of you that
Yeah.
is not performing,
Yeah.
that is just existing.
Yeah.
So
I'm on a journey, and I hope, gradually it will get easier for me to feel that self-worth without doing a big show, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like with this whole project, MEV, I think I'm getting back to the Saara that I was in 2010. Not that I want to be, 23-year-old girl again, but, all the things that were important to me then, because I felt like that was the most authentic Saara, ever. And I feel like all of this project represents that Saara in a way, and I feel so excited that now, but the timing is perfect. I could not have done this before, 5 years ago, no. 2 years ago, too much, too scary. Now's the perfect timing for this to happen.
exactly same.
So thank you for, timing
You're
it perfectly for me.
You're welcome. I did that for you.
It's so aligned, like it's so crazy.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. And I see this in so many people who are coming here because, like you said, you manifested this 10 years ago. And this is almost the story of every person who's coming into this project. So this is not me and Janku made it real, but this is everyone's manifestation.
It is.
And it's really nice because a lot of people are, I'm not going to talk too spiritually, but like shedding their old self when they come into this.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to see that we can, you can still be this amazing singer that, changes people who are listening forever. But that's not your worth. That's your gift.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's also the change also with me, that I can still do what I do. I can write books, or I can do, influencing, even though I hate that word, but like be an online person because I'm good at that.
Yeah.
But that's not my worth.
Yeah.
I can put that away and still feel worthy, and that I couldn't before. Like when I first shedded that personality, I felt like I'm worthless if I cannot prove myself.
And actually, I want to thank you. You are a big inspiration to me because I, follow you on social media, and I'm like, oh, Belinda is living that slow life, and you are like a very good example of that. Like you have been able to kind of let go of that past, hustle influencer life in a way. And I love books, and you love books, and I'm like, oh, she's just there reading books, like, so you are a big inspiration to me.
And that is possible. Yeah. Because this also I never thought, because I grew up, I talk about this a lot, I feel, but I grew up pretty poor.
Me too.
Yeah. And when you have that mentality of money is something that's not there and is really difficult, and if you get it, you have to hold on to it, and you have to exchange your hours for money. So 1 hour can be worth 20, 30 euros if you're lucky, and if you want more euros, you have to give more hours away. And unlearning that took forever for me. It was so difficult for me to understand that I can actually find ways to make money without being a bad person, and I can be at home and read a book on a Monday afternoon without being a bad person, and I can even one day become rich without being a bad person.
Those are big things.
Yeah, those are big things.
Really
and
big.
I think if you've gone through the I have no money fear, I cannot live like that fear, it's really difficult to rewire your brain. So it's back to what you said, that it took so much work to understand that a different life is actually available to you. So what we're hoping so much with this project is to show people, because we are, and there's no reason why any of us should be able to do this, and yet we're doing it. And this project seems too good to be true, yet it's happening. And we're defying a lot of odds, and it's becoming available to so many people. And I'm very proud of this, and I'm so grateful that you guys are going to be our neighbors.
Yeah.
Because we're actually having plots pretty close to each other.
Definitely. So, oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and being here. And
thank you.
Very excited. I'm also very excited for my dog because your dog, one of your dogs,
Yes.
is like my dog's best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Batman and Hector.
Batman and Hector will
Yeah.
play together, boys playing together in
I
men.
love it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Okay, so let's log off and go build a village.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.